quite sure of anything, like an ocean, lonely and empty. To live a life like yours, well, that would be obvious. There are things on the wall, the curtain's gonna fall. Your audience don't care about yourself. There's a secret on my tongue, there's a future set in stone. Your money and power is all I want. I've been running, hiding from my feelings. I've been rolling, dancing with my demons. Now I know I'm living every single day until I go to the full, to the
All right, guys, what is going on, dude? What is popping? What is popping? Switched up the intro on you. You like that? Do you like that, chat? Did you guys have a good weekend or what? Oh man, you guys are blowing up the chat. Blowing up the chat today. What's good? Naruto, Mason, you're fired. What's good? Willow, Electric, Convicted Capitalist, Roman, you're fired too. Felix, J. Jones. Oh, Mason, you're back. Never mind. You're rehired. Welcome back. Iberneth, what's good? Zai or Z, where's your sniper badge? You're fired. Goodbye. Have fun. You guys are on that shenanigans already this week, bro. Already, dude. It's like Monday, first stream. You guys are on that bullshit, dude. Come on, man. We got to do better than that. We got to do better, chat. What's good? Toby, Nikki, G, Ray. Big James Shay Millie, I think, posted a cat the other day. Dude, I saw that. I saw that cat. It's like a black cat. Very nice. Very nice. What's good? Edgar J, Dave, Flacco, Ricky, DJT got crypto going nuts. Smack the like button. Yeah, I would appreciate that. I would greatly appreciate that. Crypto is doing pretty well, I must say. Stocks are doing good too. Well, I mean, intraday, not so much, but overall, they're doing very well. They're doing very well. It was good, NKM. So earlier in the Discord, I said, hey, I don't really see, a whole lot going on, but ES has equal highs at 60, 43 and a half. So that was like right off of that. We were like coming right off of that. We traded lower. We retraced higher, created another set of equal highs, and then just fell through the floor lower. So earlier, I'm watching this go lower, and I'm thinking, okay, well, let's take out the morning low, reach into the weekend gap, and then reverse to go higher. And we did not do that. We just straight ripped through that weekend gap. So we just blasted right through it. So if I don't know what's going to happen, dude. I don't know what's going to happen. But one thing I do find interesting, I will let you know. The weekend gap for NQ was vastly different. And I did see this, but I was reluctant to short because of ES, so I did not. But Sunday's gap between 226 and 249 for NQ. Initial high, higher high during London, and then that third higher high, basically London / like pre-market equities. So we got that 1, 2, 3 formation with that open gap, and we obliterated that at the open. So that gap is not bullish, right? So if concepts that we might expect to be bullish are not, well, it's kind of a kindergarten thing, but hey, if it's not bullish, it's bearish. See that? So when you combine that, right, it's going to act like an inversion, okay? Like an inverted imbalance, but it's a gap, okay? And then if you combine that with regular trading hours gap, that's why there's a GAN box here, because I'm annotating that the gap, okay, the weekend gap on the regular trading hours, all concepts, okay, hear me out here. All concepts have premium and discount. That's my opinion. Now, is every single premium and discount level, going to be utilized or should be as important? No. But what we have here is a display of the weekend gap overlapping, okay, with our opening gap between regular trading hours and electronic trading hours. And so the weekend gap for electronic is in the discount end of regular trading hours gap. So what I'm saying is regular trading hours gap is here, right? And we cannot trade above 50% of that. So what does that tell you? If we have a concept, whatever it is, doesn't matter. And it was especially for imbalances and gaps. If they cannot trade up and into the upper half, what does that mean? Right? Your discount or your bottom half is here. and your premium or upper half is up here. So if it can't reach the upper half, if it cannot reach the premium, what does that mean? What is that a signature of? Is it a signature of strength, or is it a signature of weakness? What is it, chat? What would it be? It would be weakness. Yes, Naruto. So Friday gave us in the PM session equal highs. So we went into the weekend with equal highs here. Electronic trading hours, we pretty much got that in the very minute that we opened. Okay. And then we had all of that business on Sunday in London and pre-market, and then equity starts and we get that run up here. So now we have what? High resistant highs with open. What? They're not the greatest set of like low resistant lows, but I had that level marked up the other day, which I forgot about, but it's here. And that is what we reached for. So this low here at 905, this to me is a really good example of of engineered liquidity, right? They're gonna drop it lower, and then they're gonna, it's gonna have a retracement, but that's like a false bottom. It's a short-term low to get traders thinking that, the market's still bullish, even after it's been up for like 3 or 4 days, however long it's been, and we're at all-time highs. Everybody wants to chase price going higher. So they engineer that low here to build in traders who want to buy this. And that's a kind of a bull flag here too, as well. I don't know if you guys noticed that. Right in here. Remember what I taught you last week? Oh, fuck. I didn't see that either until I was busy watching ES, man. It's kind of shitty, but whatever. Remember this? Remember I taught you how to fade bull flags? Think back to last week, chat. Come on. Last week, I told you what? You can look at the structure. Okay, structure is my least favorite. It's the most overrated thing there is. That's my opinion, and I stand on that. But I told you what? If you have a bull flag, and then you get that break in structure, right? That tells you basically if it's going to be finessed or not. So right around 10:28, 10:30 Central, we get that structure break here. So it's like, okay, that bull flag is bullshit. So it's going to probably trade lower, right? And then which it does violently. So the overall picture, if we scrunch this up, that is the overall storyline for today. Right? You really don't even need to look at the candlesticks. You can just look at them smushed together and it makes them disappear. Equal highs, taken, engineered low, fake bull flag, fade to go lower to the engineered liquidity, as well as Friday or Thursday's low, excuse me. That's a low from Thursday. So you see how that works? Get the buyers in, rip their face off. Get the buyers in, rip their face off. So that was pretty cool. But, like I said, I was trying to see if ES wanted to trade higher, because we had left behind all this, right? We have, this is regular trading hours. Equities open high, right? The highest high in the first 30 minutes. That's the highest high of the day still. And then those equal highs here, and then another set of equal highs here. So personally, I thought we were going to come back for that. But turns out I was wrong. Okay? Which is always on the table. So if I'm wrong in the assumption that we're going higher, Then if we are going to go lower, what would we reach for? I guess 6,008 is very, very small time frame, equal lows or triple lows. And then 6,004.75 is a lack of wick. It's a lack of any price delivery to the downside post Friday's open. Right, so Friday opened and then just traded higher, and it never traded below the equities open of Friday. So we might end up seeing lower pricing. All right. So that's kind of where I'm at with that. And then there is your weekend gap here. Okay. So that's it. You know what I mean? Like, that's it. I don't have a whole lot more for you as far as what I'm expecting for the rest of the day. So it would make sense if we traded back into the gap and then went lower. That would make sense to me, kind of like what Nasdaq did, but earlier, right? It traded through it and then back into the gap and lower. ES didn't trade, through its gap until the start of our stream, basically. So I could see us maybe rallying a little bit, rebalance some, and then just rip. So we'll see how it goes. We will see how it goes. I don't think I'm going to trade this, to be honest with you. But if you want something to study, that's what I'm giving you. 6,008.5, 6,004.75. And if I were you, I would mark up the premium and discount end of Sunday's gap, or excuse me, weekend gap. If you want to, that's why that line is there. That 6,026.75. That's just the halfway point, and that's easy to just say, oh yeah, well, the upper half is the premium and the lower half is discount. I don't sit here and color my charts like this. I only do this for you guys as a visual, but then I would just do that, right? Like, move that all the way over, probably throughout the rest of the week. Okay, because that, to me, that wouldn't be just useful for today, but that might be useful later on. That's what I would do to study if I were you. What's good, Alex C, George, Stephanie, Wes? I thought it was interesting how we hit NQ's gap and then ES came right after. ES. Yeah, ES basically followed suit, but it's very, very difficult for me personally to try and short when I know there's equal highs. Okay, it's possible. I've done it. I've shown you how to do it. I just typically, I don't find that comfortable. I don't like doing that. I've just been burned so many times, back in like 2016, 2017, I got burned from doing that. And that's why that's a rule for me. I don't short when there's equal highs, because that's a target for me. So that's what that looks like. Dow was a little bit different today. We got a monumental movement higher, and I don't even know what this thing wants to do. So if the other indices are going to trade lower, Dow's likely to do that too, but it's our strongest index today. I would not advise shorting Dow personally. And that's about all I have to say for Dow. As per usual, just a quick glance, but that's it. That is it. How many hours do you trade in a day? Well, I don't trade every day, but I don't know. A lot. I'm up for equities. Well, I'm not always up for equities, but if I wake up early, I definitely will be. I usually take a break during lunch central, so 11 to 12. I'll usually take a break, and I'll come back for the PM session until around 3. And once the close of equities is done, I'll go do something else, you know, read a book or go outside, clean up the desk or write, whatever. So it's not a specific number, but it's a lot. I like being in front of the charts. Freedom is the ability to do whatever it is that you want to do. And if you want to sit in front of the charts, then that is your version of freedom. And Twitter can fuck off. And yeah, George, I don't mind trading days like today. I mean, you see there's movement. 0.5%, you know, across the, I mean, for NQ, you know, 0.5%, that's movement. Dow, same shit. ES, like 40, not 40, sorry, like 30 something probably. Yeah, right around 30 points range for the day. So I don't see why not. I do not see why not. But yeah, it's the 11th. It's Veterans Day or some shit like that. I don't ever keep up with holidays, but I know that veterans get a bunch of free shit. So I might go get my beard trimmed today. I'll think about it if I feel like leaving. We'll figure it out. So we will figure it out, chat. Let's take a look at metals for a minute. Dollar rallying, which typically can mean metals lower. Not always, but in certain cases it can. And gold, I would not be surprised if we end up getting, you know, 2604 80s, right? That's just the low of October. It's where all the stops are at, right? Gold has been on a massive bull run this entire year. I mean, good God, look at that. January is like right in here, right? So at a certain point, gold was up 35% on the year. It's absolutely insane. You know, silver's up as well. And so dollar, let me actually go look at that real quick too, because it's not going to make sense if you don't know this is up here. 106.52, right? That was a level outlined a long time ago. That was earlier this year. And I remember saying, I don't know if we're going to go for these lows or these highs. Like, I don't know. And so we ended up taking the lows, but then we just continued, right? And it's like, okay, well, that will still be on the table, but probably at a later date, a much later date. So that to me is an upside objective. And that is why last week, if you remember, we were lower and I said, oh, I thought we were going to go higher. I guess I'm wrong. And then the weekly closed, right? You know, Trump was elected as president in the US, and the dollar absolutely screamed because of that. We traded lower, down candles here, and now it's, you know, looking to reach for 106.52. So I would absolutely not long any currencies. I wouldn't look to long metals either, other than on a intraday basis. But that's, you know, that wouldn't be ideal. And so weekly time frame, I think I showed you this last week. The light purple is the weekly inversion here, and the darker purple was a daily inversion. And so there's that overlap of both back in there. And so, yeah, this to me just seems like expansion higher. It would not make sense to go lower. It makes all the sense in the world, no pun intended, to go up here. So because of that, bearish foreign currency, possibly bearish metals, possibly bearish indices as well. But that's the thing. When the elections happened in the US last week, everything rallied. Like metals went up, stocks went up, dollar went up, like everything went up. It was, strange because that usually doesn't happen that way, but elections are different. They're special, Thanks for that, Stephanie. Veterans Day. That's what it is. I just never, cared about any of that kind of shit. Not to be disrespectful, it's just, I don't, as a veteran, like I don't care about all that shit. I don't care about going out to get a free lunch or dinner and like who cares? It's gonna be fucking packed anyway because all the veterans are gonna go out and try to get some free shit. So then like, okay, it's free, but there's gonna be a wait time and the service is gonna be shit because it's a packed restaurant. Like it's not worth it to me. I'd rather just pay for good service. And if that makes me sound like an asshole, then so be it. But we'll see if we get a reversal here or not. Okay. So again, I do not know. Okay. I don't have a strong conviction either way. It would make sense if we traded down here, but it's hard for me to justify shorts when there's many, many equal highs. And I did say earlier that study to see if we trade into this and then run lower. But if we don't, if we do end up going higher, I would wonder if we get a setup between 60.23 and 60.30. Okay, so I don't know. I'm not going to give you bullish or bearish. I don't know. Okay, and that's where I'm at. But there's all kind of lack of wicks in here too, and that just, we got that everywhere. We got that here, we got that here, we got that here. Like, I don't know. We will watch this, see what takes place. But again, I'm not going to brag if it goes higher. I'm not going to brag if it goes lower either, because I'm not giving you a distinctive direction. I don't know. I'd rather just watch it and we'll see what happens. This could be, this could be a low risk buy, right? I mean, we're below the weekend gap. We got some lows here, sweat, break a structure. That could be a low risk long to go higher. But if it's hard, if I can't justify shorts because there's equal highs, right? It's hard for me to justify longs too because of what I told you earlier about these levels down here. So can you take a trade? Oh, sure. I mean, anybody can take a trade at any time, but we're trying to stack probabilities. And if I can't find something that I believe to be high probability, then there's just no trade and you just wait. I mean, it's only Monday. We got, the rest of the week. Like, just relax. Know what I'm saying, chat? Do you know what I'm saying, chat? Get some lows here too. But as you guys have probably noticed by now, just because you get like a 1, 2, 3 formation, that doesn't always set the low. It doesn't always do that. Okay. Yeah. What questions do you guys have for me today? Do you guys have any questions, or do you want to let me know what you did this weekend? If you did anything, worth mentioning. I mean, what'd you do? I read Cicero and I read Seneca. And it was good stuff. This market is like a roller coaster. Yeah. Sometimes it's not easy. You know what I mean? As much as the highlights, right? I mean, any highlight reel like in sports, is going to make a player look really, really good. But that's what it is. It's a highlight reel, you know? But all the other plays, you know, what about those? And that's kind of how like trading is with the days. I'm not always like the most accurate person, you know? Sometimes I'm like, yeah, nobody got a better answer than me. But then other days I'm like, I'm not trading this shit. So, well, that's good, Will. It's nice to hear that you're a good dad, which is good. That's good. Stephanie worked on her garden. Nice. Robert finished up right thing right now. Yeah, it's pretty good. A little bit repetitive for Ryan, kind of like some of the same people and similar stories, but it was overall right thing right now. It was a good book, but it was not anywhere near his best work. Walked around NYC. What'd you do that for, Mason? What would you do that for? Did you walk around in your tins or what? Did you find anybody that was bugging or what? What happened? You're welcome, Willow. Oh, the lady wanted to go. Nice. What's good, RK? I got a Snapchat and the homie Mason Wolf was standing in Times Square. I'm like, what? Yeah, I've been there. It was a long time ago. It was like 2016 or 2017. I was there for Fleet Week. I think I told you that story. And for Fleet Week, there was different bars giving out free drinks to veterans in uniform. Man, I got fucking trashed that day, dude. I got so I could not walk straight. I got so trashed. It was a good time. You got lost on the subway? How many rats did you see? You see any rats over there? Mm. Mm-mm-mm. Mm. I did not mention this to you, but you know, listen. I've told you this time and time again. What do you do when there's two imbalances? Before I tell you yet again, what can you tell me when you have two imbalances? Oh God, that looks bad. I feel like I said first one with stop loss on the second one or behind the second one, what have you. Why? Enter on the first with a stop at the far end of the second, says Naruto. Why? Why is that the case? Why would that be the case? Why would that be the case, chat? because John Phibbs said so. No. That's not why. That's not why at all. Inversion? No. No, sir. Or no, ma'am. I don't know if you're... Nope. Never came back to the inversion. At least the way that I do it. You can always trade an inversion without having it trade through, but I don't do that. So it's not because of that. Stop loss on the protected low is too big. Well, I don't know what a protected low is. I feel like it's this, but I didn't teach you that, Felix. I don't know who did. It's because oftentimes the first imbalance will be either, okay, it's not 100%, but it typically will either be a breakaway gap, okay, or a breakaway imbalance. An imbalance, some people call it a fair value gap, or you could actually have a gap. I don't care what you call it. The names don't matter. Context does. Okay. Someone said macro. No, we're not even in a macro. The first imbalance is typically going to be a breakaway imbalance or an imbalance that does not trade. Price does not trade all the way through it, meaning like it'll respect the upper half and then go. Okay. But the rule has been this way. It has been when you have two, you trade the first one with the stop at the second one. Why? Well, brother bear, go back, and sister bear, go back. And what did I say right in here? I said that looks like mitigation. And it could go higher. Right? So this would be what? Although I didn't like it, it's a mitigation model. High probability target. Manipulation. Mitigation. I said this could be a low risk buy. I'm not willing to take that, but it could be a low risk buy. And that's a 20 level there too. Right? Zeros, 20s, 50s, and 80s. Look at that shit. Wonder if I've ever talked about that. I wonder if there's a book on the internet about that. Oh, fuck. I don't know. I don't know. But the whole point is the first one is either going to be a breakaway or it won't trade. Price won't trade through it. So you can take the first one. It's also resting within that mitigation here. And that's that. Okay, so it's up a molly-whopping 5 points. Ooh, $250 a contract. I mean, that's not crazy. It's not killer, but even if you took the early one at 12:30, 12:31, it's 12:42. You know, $250 in 10 minutes. That ain't bad. That's not bad. So anyway, I'm still going to stick to what I talked about earlier. I want to see what we do in here. Are we going to stay in the lower half and end up ripping this low and going down here? Or is it going to say, no, we'll trade through this gap, possibly back into it to go for the equal highs, multiple equal highs, and the equity's open high? Okay, I'm not sure. I usually don't talk about trade management all that much, and I'm not in a trade, but because I am who I am, if I was long here and then I saw this, then my stop I'd absolutely be break even already. But my stop would go to the low end of this imbalance here. Because like this, see how we gapped right there? This imbalance and this gap, if it's bullish, price shouldn't trade to the low end of that. So we'd be able to justify, okay, we can take risk off the table. We can lock in, shit, I can't remember. 3 ticks. It's like 40 something or 30 something dollars. I don't know what it is, but you'd be able to reduce risk. Or if you want to just go full, like 1 point from 20 to 21, okay, you lock in $50 minus a couple of dollars for commissions. Okay, cool. Now we just wait. So again, if it's bullish, in my opinion, we shouldn't trade to that, to 21. We should trade higher. So I'd reduce risk and I'd let that shit go. And then whatever happens, happens. But again, full disclosure, I'm not in a trade. But I'm thinking and I'm telling you, trying to explain how I would manage a trade if I was in one. And that's how I would have done it. Entry there, stop at the low end of that first imbalance, or just straight up at the lowest low. It's a little bit wide, but you know, you got options, all right? And then as soon as we ripped off of that, back into Sunday's gap, obviously a new high with that imbalance on the way up. Oh yeah, I'd be a break even already, and I'd just be chilling. So that's just my favorite way to trade, man. Reduce risk, let it run. Does that make sense? What's up, Carson? Very good trade today on gold, by the way. Just set up my top step combine. It's time. Very nice. If I were you, this is not trade advice. It's not combine advice. All right. It's not any type of advice. But if it were me, I would absolutely have a DLL, daily loss limit. You can take that shit off. You can trade with that at daily loss limit. I would absolutely have one. So you also have the option of, if your daily loss limit is hit, it'll just close your trade and that's it. Or you have the option to the platform will cut all the trades and then lock you out, so you can't take any more trades after that, which is pretty cool. So it forces you out of tilt, right? If you go on tilt and you're like, oh man, I'm just going to take more trades, you can't. So if your daily loss limit, let's say, is $500, all right, you lose. Sometimes it'll be like 505 or 520. Like if you get slipped or something, like it's not perfect, but you know, it's enough, right? So as soon as your P&L does that, you get locked out and you can't trade anymore. And I think that is a very good feature. If that ES long is in break even, but there is a short entry on NQ, would you take it or rather not? No, G. I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't do that, brother. Would not do that. Trailing with the big banks. Yeah, I would hope that you know, it's the goal, right? That is the goal, but all right. So this is now beginning. Well, not beginning, actually. This is now definitely forming what appears to be possibly a market maker buy model. It's just not the greatest. It's just not the greatest. Let's... Okay. I always go with equal highs. Okay. That's how I do it. Consolidation, equal highs. That's how I do it. However, 60.45 is our equities open high, and that's right above it. That's not even 2 full points above it. So the idea is, instead of using the equal highs as a target and measuring to the low, I think the idea would be measuring from that high down to the low. There's your 60.29.5 is your fair value. Okay. Not to be confused with the weekend gap halfway. Okay. So it's right. If we zoom out, right, we take the bird's eye view, then it would look like original consolidation, distribution. This is pretty much inside that range. I don't know. I probably wouldn't count that, but you have another. It is slightly lower, but that would, to me, be a level of distribution. And then there's your manipulation. What did I say this was? Go back to 1230 or 12. That's right, 1230. I said that could be a low risk buy. I didn't take it. I'm not in it. I just said, for studying purposes, for learning purposes, I said this could be a low risk buy. That's what it's starting to look like. So, and I did not color code this. Manipulation. Low risk buy. So that means, like, roughly this would be the first stage. Accumulation. And what's the easiest trade you'll ever take? 3 p.m. is here. So after that would be second leg, accumulation. All right, so something like that. You see how that works? That's not bad, huh? That's not bad, is it, chat? Sometimes you guys, I haven't got this question in a long time, but sometimes you guys ask me, John, I can always see setups after they've happened. When I go and I back test, certain setups, it works really, really well. But I struggle with finding setups in real time. How do I find setups in real time? Well, we just did that. It's hard to find setups in real time because you don't know what's going to happen next. In the same manner that I don't know if the very next candle is going to be an up candle or a down candle. I'm not always trying to do that, but I'm trying to get in sync with the direction of price delivery. So if my original statement earlier, when I mentioned 60.43 is equal highs, I didn't mention lows. I didn't mention any lows. No downside objectives. I mentioned none. So if my original statement of 60.43 is to be correct, that's what I would look for. Actually, it'd be 60.45 at this point and above that, probably. So I would need to look for longs. Okay, where could we start looking for longs? Below old lows. It does rally, but that gets traded through, doesn't it? Well, yeah. So we trade right through Sunday's gap. Okay, not a problem. But again, short-term lows, right? 3 lower lows here, by the way. That gets yoinked at the beginning of the PM session. Then we trade higher. I mentioned, hey, that might be a low risk buy. I'm not taking it, but it might be. I'll watch it. We'll study it. What have we done since then? We've rallied, and now we have crossed 50%. Not by much, but it's done that. So, you know, and this is just a 1 minute chart. I mean, we haven't even looked at other time frames. Okay. If we take everything off, look at this. We didn't even watch the 5 minute time frame. We didn't need to. Okay. Stay off the 1 minute. No, not going to do it. What's that right there? 1225. It trades up and through what? These down candles, right? Which makes that what? A shift in price delivery. Ooh. 5 minute shift in price delivery. 1 minute low risk buy. 1 minute mitigation model. Not bad. Okay. So again, we shall see. This doesn't have to pan out. I can still be wrong. We could still trade at 608 or 604. Sorry, 6008, 6004. But now that we've crossed 50%, this to me, something in here would be a long. I don't know what it is. I just feel like something could be a long position. The later you enter, sometimes the harder it can be. Wider the stop sometimes. We do have an inversion here. You know, that could be something. It could be. But that inversion on the 5 minute time frame is still, you know, fairly in alignment with what the first stage of accumulation. So what I would do for the rest of the session today is I would see what we do here. Okay, we're trading into the inversion right now. This, you know, again, it's not financial advice. I'm not saying to trade it, but that could be a long here, targeting up here. And that's also the discount of the weekend gap. You have an inversion at the, well, halfway in / discount of the weekend gap. In a market where we've manipulated lower and we have we have 2 sets of equal highs just below equity's open high. So that could be something. But we won't know. We won't know until later because we're about to hop off the stream. I don't know what's going to happen. But at least for those of you that showed up, you got some experience today. We literally, go back to 12:30 if you want. We literally watched it. Right? Remember, we zoomed in and said, we'll watch this. We'll see if that's the low risk buy. It's looking like that. Right? That counts as experience. Doesn't matter if you traded it. I didn't trade it. Doesn't matter if you did. What does matter is you got the experience of watching that price action unfold in real time. That was not hindsight. That was not bar replay. Okay? When have you ever seen me do the bar replay tool? I don't think I've ever shown you the bar replay tool. But if I did, you can let me know, but I don't think I've ever done that. Because I don't think that's the right way. I just don't think that's the right way. Oh, and you pyramided Carson? Yeah, that's nice. It's probably the best trade that you've posted in the Discord, to be honest. I mean, entries were fire, exits were fire. Well, not the first one. The first one looked like a break even, but on the way down. But after that, once you actually waited, you smacked the fuck out of it. How does that feel? Now you're hooked. Now you've been hit. You've been hit with the drug. The drug is in your veins now, brother. And now you know that trade will be in the back of your mind. And that'll be your couple next trades. You'll go, man, I hope this trade goes like the last one did. I hope this next trade is gonna go like that one from the other day or from last week. So it'll happen. It'll happen, chat. Bruce, what are we talking about? What do you love? What do you love? You love the low risk buy? You love the pyramids? What do you love? What is it? What it be? We have not looked at anything else this whole time. We've looked at I flip-flop back in here to see what we did, and we did not get any retracement for NQ. None. We ended up taking off, and that was a retracement here, but it never came down the same way that ES did. It didn't do it. It did not do it. So we'll see what happens. I'm wondering if that becomes a reaccumulation for NQ. But again, you know, it's a little bit of a later entry, and I would have much rather seen something earlier than that. But I'm wondering if that becomes a reaccumulation. What would the target be for NQ? That's hard to say. That's hard to say. It'd probably be just trailing stops up here. Right? If it's if we had just like ES, if we had a, you know, downside, shorts are killing it. Right? Anybody who is short, I mean, they're killing it, and they're probably nervous now. You know, hoping that it doesn't go to their stop, which is up here. Well, you get what I'm saying. Once a new low was made here, their stop probably went to this high. So they probably got stopped out here, you know? And now it's like, okay. If smart money is in this, right? And they're going, all right, shorts are done for the day. Now we've held on too long. This is where it's ideal to say, okay, I'll exit my shorts. I'll get long. And then we'll run that bitch up here. But we'll see. You know, we'll have to see. Again, we won't know until this whole thing pans out. So that's it. That's all I got for you. I've been chart profiling and walking my dog all over my charts. Oh, nice. The old walking the dog. Nice. Context is needed on the size of my position. At most, it's 1%, but I usually don't throw it all at once. Still rocking a 50K account. Yep. I would agree. So, I gave. All right. Here's in closing. Okay. Upside potential 60-39.5, 60-43.5, 60-45.25 for ES. If this ends up ripping lower, 6,008, 6,004, or 5 maybe. Okay. For NQ, if this goes higher, 21,244.25 would be an upside objective for me. If we're going to do that. Okay. 244.25. All right. So either we get higher pricing or we don't. All right. So with that, you guys be good, be blessed. I will stretch first. I will update you guys later on, you know, what takes place, whether we go lower or higher. But at least I've given you some ideas to watch and study. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. If I'm right, I'm right. But, you know, the whole point is we want to study real price. We don't want to study hindsight. We can get the answer right away. No. Real time price action, because you have to sit there and wait for it to pan out. And that's real experience, not just pressing the bar replay and then go, okay, what happens? What happens? It's like instant gratification. That's not ideal. Real price, foresight, not hindsight. That to me is what is better. So, all right, we'll be here same time, same place on Tuesday, the 12th. All right, y'all be good. Don't do anything stupid. And I'll see you then.